So today we're in the shop. It rained us out, not going fishing. We're going to talk about the top 3 baits that I would use for early winter. Now, this is general. Obviously, every lake's different, but just generally early winter fishing, you know, I'm going to be fishing the central region, that clearer water, but it could pertain to Hartwell, Champlain if it's not froze over, just, you know, that clear, deep water. Top 3 baits that I cannot leave without, and it's a really hard decision because I'm leaving out some good baits too. Number 1's a jerk bait. You know, as that water temperature starts falling, you know, you get around that 52, you know, 47, 48. You know, these fish, they start getting lethargic and they group up, and the same way with the bait starts getting there. Anyway, a jerk bait is a great way to catch them. You know, you can target windy banks, you can target brush piles, docks, you can target anything really. And now with live scope, you know, I just feel like I could not leave the dock without a jerk bait. This is a Smithwick Rogue. This is old school. It's just a bait that I've caught a lot of fish on it. I like a big profile because a lot of times in that early winter, you got a lot of gizzard shad, just everything's pretty good size. So, and I believe in the wintertime, they feed less, but they feed on bigger meals. So, would not leave the dock without a jerk bait. The second one, and I had to leave a jig out just because of the way that I like to fish, is just a crankbait. This is a Bandit 300. You know, the wind's blowing, I can cover a lot of water, and I catch a lot of big fish on this. And what the crankbait does is it can tell me where they're at. You know, this 300 will run 9 or 10 foot deep, but I can throw it up on the bank. It's got a big enough bill that it will tell me if these fish are up there in 2 or 3, 4 or 5, if they're out 9 or 10, or actually, you know, if I'm catching them to come up off the bottom. And, you know, you guys sitting there, well, live scope tells you everything. Live scope, it's easy to see everything up on the bottom, you know, out in the middle. But sometimes some of these lakes we fish, there's big rocks. These fish can actually get in the cracks of these rocks. So this bait, just being able to cover water and get some of those reaction bites, and you know, I just really like catching them in the wintertime on a crankbait. The last of the top 3 is the Sonar Meno. You know, something to be able to catch these fish on live scope. You know, whether you like it or not, fishing's changed 100%. And, you know, it's kind of the choice. Do I want to spend a lot of time guessing where they're at, or do I want to see them and be able to cast to them? Well, I want to catch them, and I catch a lot of them with this. Like it's just hard for them to turn it down because I can see them, I can put it on their nose, and then using the rod and the action of the bait, I can make a lot of them bite. I don't catch every single one of them, but I can make a lot of them bite. So it kind of covers, you know, a jerk bait, a crankbait, and this kind of covers a lot. Did I leave some good baits out? Yeah, I left a jig out. I left a spinner bait out in case the water's dirty, but you know, all of those other baits are scenario baits. You know, a jig if it's water's in the bushes or whatever, but these 3, I feel like day in, day out in the early winter, 47, 48 to 52, 53, I'm gonna catch bass on. Thanks for riding along.